Welcome to another wonderful edition of Swim Easy Speed. This is sponsored by Magnolia Masters. It is the Ironman Texas 2023 swim course preview or swim course review, however you want to look at it. And what we're going to do is just talk about the swim course today and how you might want to break it down. So, the first thing is it's a point-to-point swim, and what we want to think about is you're going to be starting right at around sunrise. So sunrise tomorrow morning, Saturday, is at 6:49 a.m. The pros will go off a little bit earlier than that. They're going to go off like at what's considered first light, or I think it's civil sunrise, and that's like at 6:25, I think. And so what? Basically, the sun is going to be coming from there's east-west. Okay. So the sun will be coming up from this way. The light will be coming in from this way. So there's really not much of the course that it's really going to impact. It is going to be clear skies for most of the day. So there really isn't going to be any cloud cover tomorrow, it doesn't look like. It looks like there'll be some kind of later in the afternoon, evening. But for the most part, during the day, it's just going to be sunny skies. At around 6 a.m., the temperature is going to be 57 degrees. Winds are going to be out of the southeast at 6 miles an hour, so you want to think about they'll be coming effectively from here, like that. Now, the really good thing about Ironman Texas is, this course, it's really, really protected. So unless the wind was coming out of kind of the southwest, it's really not going to impact you guys too much. If you had kind of the wind direction coming right from there, maybe it would get funneled down the channel, but it's not, and I really don't see it happening. But it's going to be gusting up to 13, so there'll be a little bit, maybe a little bit of chop on the water, but for the most part, this course is always pretty calm. It's not a big deal. It's about as close to being in a pool as you can get, and that's kind of what you want to think about. The biggest issue is because it's not a big course and there's a lot of people, it's going to get crowded in the canal. Typically at around, if you're at around an hour 15, so north of an hour 10. Is when the majority of the people kind of start entering in the canal, where you start getting a lot of people. It looks like a little bit like salmon spawning. But, if you're faster than that, you're good. And then that'll keep up for maybe 30, 35 minutes where there's a lot of people, and then it'll kind of past that. It'll kind of start to die down a little bit too. So one of the interesting things about this course is, and they don't really exaggerate it as much as it's exaggerated on in reality. So you can see, the course kind of comes down like this. It comes in and goes out, back out again like that. And that's for this headland right here. This headland kind of juts out into the middle of the course. So they have to bring in the course a little bit to accommodate for that, to allow enough people to get down. This, they typically like to leave open for emergency boats to get up and down the course. So typically, I know in the past, they've told athletes to not swim inside the buoy line, just because they like to have the emergency vehicles, emergency boats being able to get down there and help any athletes that might be in distress. But there are, kind of three extraction points, and, there's one kind of down here. I think typically in the past it's been right there. There's one at North Shore Park, and then there's one at the finish. If you're a new swimmer well, actually, I'm going to go back to this real quick. So the one thing that you can do is, if you're really looking to, because the course is measured by the buoy line. Okay, so the boat goes along the buoy line. They usually run it a couple times to make sure that it's as close to accurate as they can get. And the one thing is that, here's the buoy line right there. If you just keep on going straight, you can kind of cut some of the course off effectively. And it might be maybe 100 meters total, but 100 meters is 100 meters. So, that would be one kind of little time saving trick. You can swim less than the advertised distance by doing that. So, let's see. If you are a new swimmer, kind of, you're a little bit nervous. This is your first swim. It looks like it's going to be wetsuit legal, so that should take a lot of pressure off. But, you always want to have a plan B in mind when you're in the water, before you get in the water. So the reason you want to have that is, what do you do if you get kicked in the face? What do you do if you get a cramp? What do you do if something really unexpected happens that you haven't planned for? So the one thing is, always have in mind, have an idea, have some situational awareness of where the kayakers are around you, where the safety assets are around you, because there's going to be a lot of boats on the water. There's going to be a lot of kayaks. There's going to be a lot of stand-up paddleboards, and those guys are there for you. So if you're feeling a little distressed, you need a little help, don't be afraid to, reach out to a kayaker. The other thing is there's usually some floating little islands on here. I think there's one usually down there, kind of in the midpoint. Now, the good thing about this course is as long as when you're close to the shore, and you're pretty much always close to the shore, I think the water is only anywhere from like 3 to 6 feet deep. It's deepest in the middle right here. So when you get the deepest part of this entire lake is down here, and it's pretty much the only part of the course that you technically couldn't walk. From here to here is 9 feet. So, that would be one of the things to take into account, is there's probably a point you can, touch the bottom of the lake. Now, I wouldn't recommend walking in the lake. There's, no idea what's at the bottom of that lake. So, particularly in the canal here, you don't want to be walking down it. Standing up is fine. Just I wouldn't walk down it. Let's see what else. So clear skies. Trying to think. Wind southeast, 6 to 13. There's going to be a couple timing mats that you swim through on there. They probably went over that with you in the athlete briefing. Oh, I know what. So typically when people enter here, and a lot of pros have done this in the past, particularly the ones in the lead, have gone in right there. And realized that was not the canal entrance, that was just a little side cove, and then had to swim back out. So they gave up a lot of time. So just be aware of when you turn the corner right here, do not swim into there. You want to make sure that you're looking for the buoys and swim towards the next buoy. And remember, there's a buoy about every 100 meters. There are two once you get into the canal, and this course is roughly, if we're looking at it, it's a third, and a third. Okay? So once you get into the canal, and the canal's kind of up in here, the official entrance to the canal, there's a pedestrian kind of overpass about right here. And you are at that point about 800 yards from the finish. When you get to the second overpass, which is right about there, you are about 350 from the finish. And, these are roughly, a little bit less than 500 yards apart. So, those are some of the landmarks to keep in mind when you're going through, so you have a better idea where everything's at. But yeah, just go on, swim the course, let your body do what you've been training it to do, and have fun. It's going to be a really good day. It looks like the weather's going to be perfect for some really, really fast racing. And at the end of the day, Ironman Texas in general is a very fast course. The reason that it's been, rated as kind of difficult to hard in the past is because of the weather. So it looks like we're going to have one of these epic, really fast days tomorrow. So I wish everybody the best of luck tomorrow. You will see me bright and early. I will be there in the swim entrance as one of the volunteers, kind of ushering everybody into the water. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. So get some good rest and good luck. We will see you tomorrow.